is up, everyone? Welcome to episode 31 of Gotta Watch 'Em All. I am one of your hosts, Ken Pescatore, recovering from bronchitis from like 2 days ago, so I'm sure I sound awesome. But speaking of awesome, Adam, how are you?
Awesome.
I was going to say, you better say awesome. What's going on?
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. I know we put the podcast off a couple of days.
I felt terrible like all of last week. And I'm the type of person that like, I refuse to not go to work if I can avoid it in any way. So I went in and ended up leaving early a couple days. And I was like, man, I'm not doing this right. And over the weekend, I just started like really disintegrating. And, on Sunday, I went to like a walking clinic and the dude's like, yeah, man, you've got like really bad bronchitis. So I'm like, oh my God. So that put a hamper on things. So come normal, Sunday night recording, I sounded like the mummy.
Well, good thing you went and saw Nurse Joy, cause
yes, and luckily it was the Nurse Joy from like Cerulean City, so it was a good one.
Oh, she cared.
But we are recording this today is Wednesday, September 27th, 2017. We had a slow news week with Pokemon Go and Pokemon in general last week, and they made up for it this week. There's so much, dude. There's so much to talk about. All right, we're gonna, we'll start with Pokemon Go. Equinox event is in full swing. It's been covered at nauseum. I'm just going to run through the major points of the event.
Well, I just want to say the first one because it's the only one that matters. Double Stardust for catching and hatching your Pokemon.
And berries.
Yeah.
So it's, dude, I've probably originally I was like, let me save it all to the end and then, so I could really see my start point and end point. And I couldn't hold it in. Like I've been spending it as I've been making it, but I'd probably say I've spent close to 300,000 or 400,000 Stardust in the past couple days, and I haven't made a dent. So it's like I've been spending exactly what I'm making. This is the event we've all wanted. It's so good.
Yeah, that's crazy. I went down to I think a couple hundred, just because I was like, screw it. I was gonna save powering up my Furret the next 2 times I can power it up, just, to live stream it or whatever. And I was like, I'm just doing it. And now with everything, I'm at 99,000.
Wow. Yeah. I think
so
I have 1.8 million right now still.
And that's just from the start of the event. So
that's awesome. But it's so good. In addition to double Stardust, they did special 2K eggs. I don't know what your experience has been with these 2Ks, but if you could actually manage to get a 2K, because the 10K saturation has been absolutely bonkers, but I've hatched 3 Mareeps, 3 Larvitars. What have you gotten? Have you hatched a lot?
I have only hatched 10K eggs and 5K eggs. I have 3 in regular incubators, mind you, at 1.7 kilometers. So I need to, after this, I need to just go outside and find out what I get.
Yeah, I've hatched so many 10Ks, and I think I've probably, the majority of them were Porygon. It's just like Porygon everywhere.
Dude, that's what I've been waiting for.
But I don't care.
I just hatched one. I've only seen one in the wild.
Me too. I've hatched all the rest, but I want that candy for Porygon Z, so.
Well, I've only hatched one, so my candy rate is in the 30s. Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah, I think I have 4 Porygon 2s. And then I'm sitting on now 300 Porygon candy or something crazy. You had mentioned the types of incubators. So this was something that we've been waiting for. The APK mine that Sylph Road and Pokemon Go Hub did a couple months ago. They found this super incubator, and then finally they've released it. They've released it only in these special boxes, these promotional boxes for this Equinox event. And the Equinox originally slated to be September 22nd through October 2nd, but we'll get to this in a moment. Because of some technical issues, they've extended the event to October 3rd. So we'll talk about why. But they released these 3 promotional boxes, the special box, the great box, the ultra box, kind of like a good, better, best, depending on where you're at with things and what you're trying to accomplish. But the main thing is they include these super incubators. Now, we were all kind of hoping, and we know how to keep our expectations in check, but we were all thinking that these things were going to be double the rate, 2 times incubation speed. And it turns out that they're 1.5.
Which isn't bad.
and you can only get them in these boxes. So they put a little bit of a paywall behind them because you can't buy them individually, you can't earn them from stops or anything like that, but it's just these boxes.
See, I was really hoping that I could purchase one.
Just one, right?
Even if it was, $200 in the shop, that's well worth it. 50 extra coins for that extra 0.5, hatch rate.
Right. Well, that would be the equitable balance of, value to coin with the base one costing 150. You pay 200, that work out. So the special box, 480 coins. It comes with 3 of the super incubators and 5 lure modules. Now, lure modules, they've jammed them into all these promotional boxes that they've had over the previous events. So I ended up with like 80 or 90 lure modules, and I haven't played in a condition where I could just, sit on a bench and throw some lures down. I'm always on the go. So I was just
Pokemon Go.
Dude, I was sitting on so many of these lures. So when I saw them in the boxes, I was like, oh, I'm going to have to get more lures again. But it's totally worth it. 480 for the special box with 3 super incubators, 980 for the great box with 5 super incubators, and 1480 for the ultra box with 8 super incubators. And then you get these different combinations of lure modules, and then the great and ultras also have some lucky eggs thrown in, which I need the lucky eggs because I rip through those like water too. But I think I bought an ultra box and a special box, and I think that's a good balance for under the $20 worth of coins, and you end up with 11 of the super incubators, 8 lucky eggs, and 20 lures. I could deal with that.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. I've only gotten one special box, and that's just because of the coins that I had.
I'm going to focus on just using these super incubators, and even if I need to hold on to them after the event, just exclusively using them on 10Ks, just keeping them for the 10Ks.
Yeah, that's my goal, because it makes them worth it. You know what I mean? They hatch faster. It's easier to get them out of your bag.
They actually have a really cool design too. I kind of like it's almost like a little
rocket ship,
rocket ship pill looking thing. It's really, really cool. This is the event that we've all wanted. I'm very excited that we have this for the next couple days. The Go Plus, when you really see the value of the Go Plus when in an event like this where you just want to catch volume. It does so much work for you, and I kept being surprised every time I would look down at the phone or whatever when I was just using the Go Plus. It's wow, 2 million Stardust. I got to use this.
Yeah, I've been on vacation. So
dude, let's think about that for a second.
No, wait a minute. No, so I haven't been in any great area for me to use my Poke Plus. So I've just been stuck with using Ultra Balls and Great Balls because I've run out of Pokeballs as well. So I was not able to restock before this event happened.
Yeah, I actually was in a similar boat, and I had to set the Pokemon Go Plus just to stops, because I'm constantly burning through the balls, and I'm sitting on between Great and Ultra Balls, I have 400 balls, 400 or 500 balls, but no Pokeballs. But, that's Pokemon Go Plus problems. We mentioned before that the event is extended by a day. So yesterday, which is the 26th of September, when I woke up, I was up at 6 a.m. Eastern time and couldn't log into the game. And around 5 a.m., I think you started seeing reports online of people saying, hey, I can't get in. I can't log in, complete blackout of the game, and it started to seem epidemic. It was very, very widespread. And I think it was maybe around 2 in the afternoon or something like that. Niantic originally addressed it on Facebook and said, hey, we got, there is an issue, we're working on it, that kind of thing, which was good. Then later that evening, they released a statement on Facebook saying that, I'll read the statement. It says, early this morning, we discovered an issue which prevented several players, now this is several players was probably, millions, from logging into the game. After working with our partners, we were able to resolve the issues and can now confirm that login functionality is fully stabilized. As a result of this outage, the Equinox celebration will be extended by 24 hours and will now end at 1 p.m. on October 3rd. So they bumped this out a full 24 hours. I use a Pokemon Trainer Club login. You use a Google login. You were able to get in through the whole day. You had no disconnection.
Listen,
that's
I was
crazy.
catching stuff all day.
That's so great.
Only one Pokemon. I went to Springfield, Mass. I went to the Big E. It's some fair that's weeks long. So we get there, and instantly I pull out my phone. I want to see what, the go scene's like. And instantly I get confronted with 3 Dunsparce. And I'm like, okay, that's unusual, but I'm going to catch them all.
Right.
And then, I put my phone away. I'm focused on, having fun. I'm on vacation. And then I keep pulling it out. And every time I pull my phone out, it's Dunsparce. Even on the radar, it's just, the whole thing's filled with them. I'm like, this is insane. Because I'm just so used to hatching them. Those are semi-rare, right? So I just kept catching them. And I tallied them up. I have 29 of them that I caught.
That's awesome.
29 Dunsparce.
I see one maybe once a week or something like that, and I've never, even on Sylph Road, I don't think I've ever seen a Dunsparce nest. Yeah,
right now there's a Shuckle nest at my local park area, and so that I've been trying to hit that, but then being gone for 3 days, kind of nips that in the butt.
You got to hit that up and take some AR shots of some Shuckles and send them over to the guys from Pokemon Go Radio for Papa and Mama Narwhal. They just had baby Shuckle. You got to show me your Shuckle. I think that's the hashtag.
Show me your Shuckle.
Show me your Shuckle. But that's cool, man. Back to this outage, because I used the Trainer Club login, I couldn't get in until 5 p.m. Eastern. So I was out.
Awful.
I was out the whole day. And what was interesting was, at first I was just getting the unable to authenticate, which is the typical Trainer Club login issue. But then it actually booted me out of the game completely to where I was back at the, choose your login type screen where I had to manually re-enter my credentials. So then it had me, second guessing my credentials for my Trainer Club thing. It was it was a big mess.
You start biting your nails. You're like, oh, geez, what am I doing here?
And I'm just refresh, try again. And then eventually 5 o'clock, at the second I got in, I had no problems from that point on. So it was literally like a switch was flipped and then everything was running fine. But the moral of this story is when they put up the announcement on Facebook to what they were doing to extend the event because of the outage. And again, some people weren't even affected. Point in case, you. And I'm on the other side where I was out almost the whole day.
So I get an extra day of candy? Is this what you're telling
me?
What I'm saying. Stardust. Sorry.
Stardust. But the comment section, this thing is, I think it has 10,000 likes, 1,100 shares, and well over 1,000 comments. And the comments are all, look, I understand the internet, and I know people are salty about, why the sky is blue and stuff. But, dude, the comment section to this post is all that's so much wrong with the Pokemon Go community at large that it's worth sharing the link so everyone can read some of this stuff, because it's insane. You have 10 posts in a row, 10 comments in a row that are just completely out of line, upset. They're talking about connectivity issues, and then people are just yelling about raid passes. Where's my EX pass? I play every day. Bah, you're ruining it for hardcore players. People just salt everywhere.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten EX raid pass. Literally doesn't affect me. I'm not upset about it. Yes, I want a Mewtwo, but not enough to yell and scream and shout about it.
I mean, in my local scene,
they
just opened it up to non-sponsored stops. So now random water towers and different businesses and stuff, all that stuff is they're starting to open that up. So I'm not worried about it. It'll come. But these people are so salty. And then every 10th comment is a ray of sunshine. And someone's like, Niantic owes us nothing. Thank you so much for providing the world's best game, And then it's just they get buried in a sea of negativity. So funny. But I'll put the link in the show notes. You got to see how, I don't know where everyone feels, the listening audience. I don't know where you guys feel your position is on how you react to when there's an issue in the game. But I really hope it isn't the majority of people that commented on this press release here. It's crazy. It's crazy, but it's worth taking a look at, because it's pretty, it's tragically funny. I think that's the best way to put it. It's tragically funny. I think that Niantic has done a great job with improving their communication with the community and letting people know what's going on with the game. And I think a few weeks ago we had referenced the known issues page, which was just a list. It was just a database of what they're working on or what they have addressed and officially announced and said, yes, we identify this issue. So they just updated that page. I'll put the link in the description. I think this is a really, really awesome resource that's worth setting as a favorite in your browser, because they've updated it to where they've broken out all the issues by topic. So you have raid battles, gym and battle, Pokemon and eggs, accessories, device, sign in, account. All that stuff has its own heading. And then each of the known issues also have a tag. This is in the works. This is resolved. We are investigating this. So I want to start a new segment that we're going to call the Niantic Support Report, which we're going to look at this known issues page every so often and just kind of run through what's going on with the game, because they don't tell us everything overtly. They give us the information. Here it is. But I just don't think too many people know about this known issues database page, that the information just doesn't get out.
Okay, so the Niantic Support Report. Ken, what has been resolved?
Okay, so this is really cool. So now we can talk about what's done, right? They'll word it as the issue, and then they'll just mark it as resolved. So gym control bonus is not working as intended. I never experienced this, and if I did, I probably just didn't notice it, because I never called it out, never had anyone call it out. Have you ever seen anything with gym control bonus not working?
Once or twice.
Okay, so you saw that. But whatever it is, resolved. Remotely viewing your Pokemon in gyms causes them to lose their favorite status. Now, I didn't notice it through viewing them through the gym, but for sure when they returned from gyms, they were losing their star for me all the time.
Yeah, that was me too, and I was scared to leave any of my strong Pokemon. I'm like, I'm just going to leave junk because I don't want to accidentally transfer something.
But since seeing this as resolved, I haven't noticed the issue with them losing their status when they return. So I'm going to assume that's part of this repair as well. And then finally, the blank spots that were showing up in people's Pokedex, like the big white squares, resolved. The images are loading fine.
Awesome. Now, what's in the works? What's Niantic working on?
Okay, so this is a weird one. And this one bugs me because I put myself out there on Instagram or one of our platforms, and I posted that this was confirmed because I think it was Niantic George on Reddit said that this was fixed. But the actuality is it's still in the works category. So raids against legendary Pokemon counting towards the champion medal. So anytime you do a legendary raid, it's not counting towards that medal. And weeks ago, Niantic George said that was resolved. Like, great news, they're now going to count towards your medal. But it actually never rolled out. So when you look at your count, that's only 1 through 4, levels 1 through 4 raids. So you're never going to see any of your... Now, hopefully they'll be able to somehow retroactively go back and add those raids in. Like maybe there was a tally of them, but that's still not working. But it is in the works. That's good because, the majority of raids I've done lately have been legendaries.
I, unfortunately, haven't done any legendaries because I can't get anybody together. So it's always 1 or 2s.
Dude,
the occasional solo Machamp.
We've got 5 days left from the time of this recording. We have 5 days left for Raikou. I think that the last day or two, people are going to get back out there because they're scrambling for one more shot to get a good one or get it for the first time. And then we have our rotation. So as soon as that new legendary comes out, the raid groups are going to be bonkers.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Because, I don't necessarily have a good Raikou right now, so...
I think I've got a low 90s one. It's like, at that point, man, I'm satisfied.
I just want one that's like 19.
Also in the works, dodging causing the battle to become unresponsive. I've definitely noticed that. I'm assuming this is kind of the lag kill, the lag glitch, like when you're battling and you kind of just lock up after dodging and you still get hit as if you were still standing in the direct crossfire of the attack. I'm assuming that's what that means. And then this is a huge one. Pokemon Go Plus unable to connect to your phone. So that's how they leave it. They don't say what phones it's having problems with. Just they leave it super broad. And I have a little story. So Melissa, since we got our Pokemon Go Plus day one, I went to the NBA Live 2K17 midnight launch party at GameStop because that was the same day that they were releasing the Go Plus, and I bought the store out. So we all got ours on day one. And since that day, she's had connectivity problems. Now, my work phone is an Android, and I have the game on that phone as well. That was the phone that before my son had a phone, he would play on that one. And I got a new battery for his Go Plus, and I tried to pair it to the Android, and I still have not been successful with connecting the thing once. Like, it just rejects it. Shows up on the device, shows up on the phone. The thing will just not pair. And I was like, I don't know if this is an Android thing because I've never had a problem on the iOS, not once.
Neither have I.
We did the Toys for Games podcast last week, and we had Josh Brown, the host of Toys for Games, saying that he had just updated his iPhone to iOS 11. And now iOS 11 has their own problem with the Go Plus not syncing. So for the first time, iOS is struggling, but only on the iOS 11. And that's in that investigating category of the Niantic support page. So they're saying Pokemon Go Plus accessory issues on iOS 11. So there's some kind of weird thing going on with iOS 11. Another big one that they're investigating, curveball bonuses not consistently awarded. I've never had a problem with this. I've seen Reversal and Trainer Tips break this down a million times and show it not working, but I've never had a problem.
I've had this issue a couple times, and it's always when I'm catching, like, Rattatas or Pidgeys, and I'm trying to get that little small curveball, in there, but then not being rewarded for it.
See, I was talking to Melissa about the same thing, and we were exactly talking about the same thing. When it's a Pidgey or a Rat or a Caterpie or Weedle, and when you initiate a curve, so when you start rotating that ball, it'll just have a normal animation of it spinning. But then at a certain point, it starts to spark up, starts to glitter a little bit. And I think if you release the ball before it the animation changes on the spin, you'll still get the curve, but it won't count because it didn't have enough velocity behind the spin. I don't know. I just noticed that it's something worth looking at when you're, testing out this theory, but
I don't know. I spin it pretty fast.
It's good to know that they're at least looking into this because especially for legendary raids and stuff, you need that curveball bonus to, improve your catching. And then finally, the last thing they're investigating, incomplete location information on eggs and Pokemon. I've seen this forever since the game launched. There's a couple towns around me that whenever I catch Pokemon in that town, it just doesn't say the town name and it just says, New Jersey. And the town is just blank.
I've noticed, I know that where I work in Newington, but it says when I catch Pokemon, it's in Kittery.
See, that's weird because that's just the wrong town, but it's still putting something
right?
there.
And it's in Newington's in New Hampshire, and Kittery is in Maine, and it says it's in Kittery, Maine. So it's confusing.
Was it Salt from Pokemon Go Radio that was you're just Canada?
Yeah,
it's all just Canada. I really dig this known issues page. It's a great resource. It's worth looking at. If you see something and you could provide feedback, tweet at Niantic Support. I think the more people that are active in identifying and addressing and commenting on these issues, the better and faster they'll be resolved because they'll have a better global view of what is going on with these issues. And if something's happening to you that's not on this page, definitely let them know. Definitely write them, on Twitter. And they've had pretty good responses. They're actually responding to a significant amount of people on Twitter. So they're listening, which is great. All right, jumping off of Pokemon Go, this was a huge, huge week for other forms of Pokemon video games. Pokkén Tournament DX came out on the Switch. This was earlier in the week. It has a bunch of new characters over the Wii U version. There's bonus codes that are available right now on Pokemon.com. I'll put them in the show notes where I think if you buy the game before January or something, you can use these codes to get some avatar items, a leather jacket set, for your in-game trainer. I'll put those codes up. Pokemon Gold and Pokemon Silver came out in the 3DS eShop, which is really cool. I have a great story. This is hilarious. So I'm an old fart. I'm 40 years old, so I'm an old man, right? 9-year-old son. I have this box of all my old Game Boys and all my old stuff. So my son comes out and he's got a Game Boy Color and he's got Pokemon Red. He's like, Dad, I'm going to start. I'm going to start at the beginning and I'm going to play through all the games. And I'm like, so proud, I'm biting my knuckle. I'm like,
that's like you've been waiting to hear that for the past 9 years.
But the greatest thing ever is he's playing and he's trying to go he puts a little fort blanket over his head. He's like, Dad, where's the brightness setting? I was like, now you know the pain of playing on an old Game Boy Color where you need to be in direct light the whole time or you just can't see. It's so funny. So funny. And then there was a really cute video that came out online of a little girl holding a Game Boy Color and she's just tapping the screen and she can't understand.
Like Pokemon Go?
Yeah, no, she's why, not realizing that, why isn't this a touchscreen? So cute. Gold and Silver out on 3DS eShop. if you buy it before like October of next year, you get a code for Celebi that you can bring into Sun and Moon, which is awesome. And also Ultra Sun and Moon, which is cool because you cannot obtain Celebi in Sun or Moon. So bonus code is good. A couple weeks ago, we talked about the different variations of the Pikachu, the region-based hats for Pikachu for Sun and Moon. This is the second week you can get the Hoenn region hat Pikachu. I'll put the link in the description so you know where to go to download that during this window, during this week. If you know, there's 7 different hats, or 6 different hats covering the 7 generations. Depending on what week you use your download code is going to determine what hat you get. But right now you can get the Hoenn hat, which is cool. I'm always going to go for the classic hat. That would be my style. Just
I'm right there with you.
Give me original Ash hat, it's like Mankey Primate style, give it to me. They also announced something new about Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Have you seen this Mantine Surf?
I have not.
So the way that you can get around, you can either ride Charizard, you could fly, you could ride on the back of a Tauros, or you can ride on a Lapras or whatever to get from island to island. So now they added a little mini game called Mantine Surf, where when you travel on the back of a Mantine from island to island, there's like a surfing mini game that's kind of like Tony Hawk. So you could do like tricks and it's like gnarly and gives you a score and stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love little extras like that. I think that adds so much polish to a game. And, you take me back to like Pokemon Stadium on N64. Like, give me those mini games all day long. They're like the greatest things ever. Like that. I think I played those mini games more than that main game, probably tenfold. Finally, before we get into the episode, Pokemon Playhouse, and I think this is super relevant for you and your son, but this is a new app for a tablet, and I think there's also some kind of desktop element too, but it's an app that you can download. It's designed for kids that are probably in the maybe 3 to 6 year old range, something like that, to introduce them into Pokemon. It's very, very stylized. The Pokemon have an awesome, awesome design. There's 50 Pokemon in this app, and it's pretty much like a Tamagotchi, where you have to like brush your Pokemon and care for your Pokemon, and you do this and you unlock points that creates eggs, and then you hatch your eggs and you can get all the 50 Pokemon, and there's Snorlax in it. It's so good. And I totally did not spend an hour playing a 3 to 5 year old Pokemon app the other day. I didn't do that, but if I did, it would be awesome because it's really cute and it's really good. And Snorlax looks absolutely hilarious, and you need to check it out.
I definitely will. Yeah, like I said, before we started recording, we were saying that right before I left for vacation, I saw the announcement. I was like, "What? This is so cool! My son's gonna love this." And then we left.
Yeah.
And then we just got back a little while ago, so I'll get it. I'll download it tonight.
Yeah, dude, it's very cool, and I think it's gonna really open. It's just making it very accessible for kids at a young age, and then gotta start them young. Gotta get it in the bloodstream.
Yeah. Oh, it's already there.
Anything else you want to touch on? There was just nothing really going on in the TCG this week. I know you were away, so you didn't do any league stuff.
No, nothing to. Well, I mean, there's a Hartford, Connecticut regionals this weekend, which I will not be attending, but that is going on.
If you're going, good luck.
I'm not. Oh wait, no.
Not you. Them.
Out there. Yes, to anybody listening that is going, good luck, have fun.
I did put a unboxing video up on our YouTube channel. I did it the other day, 2 days ago, but I unboxed a shiny Tapu Koko GX box, which had 4 boosters. The pulls were fantastic. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I would love it if you were to check out our YouTube page. Give us a sub when you're there. But check that out. It was a lot of fun to record. I had that box for like 2 weeks. I was dying to open it. And then when I finally opened it, it was worth the wait. So check that out on our YouTube channel. But let's get into this episode. We're going to take a little bit of a different approach here. Normally when we talk about the episode, we kind of strictly follow the timeline of the episode and go from scene to scene, kind of like a screenplay style approach. And what I've noticed and the feedback that I've heard has been that it's a little bit long in the tooth. So I want to take a different approach to the way we discuss the episode. And what we're going to do is I want to make it more of a water cooler conversation about the episode. And I think the best way to do that is to just kind of shoot the breeze about the episode and not worry about so much of the specifics of what's going on and who said what, and provide more of a top-level kind of review on the episode rather than a retelling of the episode. I don't know how you feel about that, but I think we should get into it because I absolutely love this episode. Probably my favorite episode in the past 10 episodes.
I'm ready.
This has been the recurring theme. Episode starts off and they're lost. This has happened
every single episode.
It's gotten to the point where it's come to be expected and it delivers every time. It's just, in this episode, it's hilarious because they're just all pointing in different directions. It's right away, you know, they're already in the mix of things. But as we were talking about last episode, they're finally getting back on track. They're going to the Fuschia City Gym. They need to get badges. Got to stay focused on the Pokemon League. They just don't know where the heck they're going because even though they have maps, they're just lost. So they're terrible cartographers. So they're all kind of hanging out. Brock is kind of oogling over his Vulpix. And he's like, oh, she's such a great trainer. And, saying that he has, like, Vulpix has perfect fur, perfect hair. And PSYDUCK is out. And Missy's like, an awesome part. He's like, yo, Brock, what do you say we trade? You know, I'll trade you. And she's like, you wouldn't even have to worry about hair. You know, PSYDUCK only has 3 hairs. And PSYDUCK's just sitting there all dumb looking. I don't know. Something about PSYDUCK, man. There's something about PSYDUCK that it makes me smile every time because he's just so dumb looking.
I know PSYDUCK's like dumb and cute and all, but like I've always been a fan of Golduck.
If I had a PSYDUCK, I would not evolve it ever.
I would always evolve it.
No,
always.
No. You know, as they're kind of just, it's cool because you see the characters very casual with each other. So they're kind of making jokes and they're taking digs at the Pokemon. The Pokemon are out, which is really cool. And, you know, they're trying to explain to each other, like, look, we really don't know where we're going. We have to find this gym. They find this like Indiana Jones style bridge, which they've seen on many adventures where they have to like walk across a plank over a gorge or something like that.
They must tiptoe.
Yeah. And as they're going across, they see this giant compound, right? This thing that looks like this Japanese mansion, but it's all gated and walled in. And the art is awesome. Like, I love the way it looks. And actually, a little bit later in the episode, when Team Rocket pops their head out, Jesse even says, he goes, I'm not impressed. It looks like a Japanese restaurant. But the place looks awesome. But they don't know what it is. You know, they're looking for Fuschia City. And all of a sudden, they see this random, traditionally Japanese compound. Like, the place is huge.
Yeah, and there's no signs or anything.
No, they're just like, you know, but they're immediately intrigued. And they're like, we got to go there. You know, they'll know where the Fuschia City Gym is. And within seconds of them walking in, they meet Venonat. And Venonat rolls out and he's like, Venonat, you know, big bug eyes. And Brock is like, I think we should follow it. And the second they get into this mansion thing, they start running into like a whole bunch of booby traps, which is super cool. I really enjoyed how they this whole place is like a fun house. They're leaning on walls. The walls are giving out and spinning around like doors. But they're like suffering trap after trap after trap, invisible doors, tripwires. There's, you know, doesn't like what do they do? It triggers something where like a Voltorb like comes out. And so.
Yeah, he drops from the ceiling.
They meet Venonat, bust out the dex. They learn about Venonat. Then they see Voltorb and they're like totally freaked out, pull out the dex. They meet Voltorb. So it's like 2 new Pokemon introduced right away, straight away.
Yeah.
It's totally cool. And this Venonat is kind of toying with them now, and all this crazy booby traps are going off, and they finally come into this big like arena room, and that's when we're introduced to Aya.
Aya. No.
She sort of says that. She should have said that.
Well, she's a ninja. She's got to do it.
So she like, you know, does this awesome ninja like jump, and they have this cool like wrestling introduction for her where it's like, yeah. And she just kind of like lands in front of the party and she's wearing almost like, it kind of reminded me of like either Scorpion or Sub-Zero from the first Mortal Kombat. Like that kind of ninja outfit, but it's like hot pink. So of course Brock is like, oh my gosh. You know, he's
thirsty.
The thirst is real, of course. And it's cool because, you know, she introduces herself and she's real proud. She's like, I am Aya, the great ninja warrior. You are not leaving until we battle. And it's like Ash immediately is all fired up. He's like, heck yeah, let's do this. And, before you know it, there's a battle.
Yeah, and all she's got is a Venonat.
Dude, don't hate on the Venonat.
And Ash is like, I'm just going to send out a Bulbasaur.
The Venonat starts showing off like what it could do, and it's using these psychic type moves, right? Doesn't it use like some kind of psychic wave attack or something like that? And Ash is busting out all the traditional stuff. He's like Vine Whip, and they're dodging it. Oh, and then Aya commands a Psybeam. That's right. Uses a Psybeam on Bulbasaur, which strikes him, and he almost like goes down for the count. But Ash commands a Leech Seed attack. Now, Leech Seed, when I used to play the handheld games back in the day, this was like my move. So I would.
This was the best move.
I would always use Leech Seed, where drop the seed onto a Pokemon, it sprouts, and then it does damage to them and gives the player back, some hit points. So you see this really cool animation of this seed hit Venonat like right between the eyes, and all these vines just wrap around Venonat's like round body, just squeezing it, sucking the life out of it. And I was like, yes, Leech Seed, it's awesome. And as this is happening, you realize like, dude, Ash just won. Like, Ash actually beat this Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, she just called him out, but, he's taking the victory.
It's like, yes! So great. And then we get introduced to Aya's brother, Koga, right? And Koga he's BA. He's awesome.
He's the Fuschia City Gym leader. But, like, see, this is where it was messing with me, because the whole start of this episode was just like, I'm like, great. We could just erase this episode from the timeline and nobody's gonna care. And then all of a sudden this happens. And they're like, oh, hey, he's the gym leader. So we're actually in Fuschia City Gym right now.
But it's cool because you would have never known it, because every time they've talked about it, the last 3 episodes are like Fuschia City. And they've gone through all these different big old cities, and that's kind of what we're expecting. So they find this off the beaten path mansion, and they come to find out that that's the actual Fuschia City Gym right there. They're in there. Koga's the gym leader. And just like Aya demanded a battle, Koga demands a battle. And it's just all happening just in there's no planning. It's just
rapid fire.
It's so awesome. It's so awesome. And I love the art style of Koga and Aya. I think they're an awesome looking pair. And it's just cool. It's just, there's really cool music that's going on. The setting of the battle is really cool. But as this is going on, Team Rocket, of course, is spying from the outside, as they normally do. That's when Jesse says that the place looks like a Japanese restaurant. And I think James says, like, there must be, lots of Pokemon in there or something like that. And that's
there's
like,
going to be tons of Pokemon.
Yeah, like, let's just break in and steal all the Pokemon. So, like, It's so great how they can regurgitate the story, and it doesn't even matter, because you're just like, what kind of shenanigans are they going to get themselves into? It's just like, it's coming.
I love all the shenanigans that they get into in this episode.
Koga steps up. He's like, if you can defeat me, this soul badge can be yours. And he opens up his jacket, and he's just like this cool, looks like a heart almost, but it's the soul badge. And he's like, let's have a 2-on-2 battle. I will use Venonat. And he busts Venonat out, and the second Venonat hits, and this is a different Venonat than Aya's, but the second it hits the battle floor, the thing evolves into Venomoth. It's like, what? And even Brock is like
backward.
He's like, an evolution. He goes, no, what does he say? He goes, a metamorphosis attack?
No, he just evolved. This is similar to like Sabrina's Abra evolving into Kadabra.
That's right. This is the second time this has happened.
So it's pretty common.
Interesting. So Ash brings out Pidgeotto, and again, the battle is just, it's raging. And this is still probably only 60 seconds after the battle with Aya. So it goes from battle to battle. You're seeing all these different moves: Stun Spore, Sleep Powder. The Venomoth puts Pidgeotto to sleep. Ash brings out Charmander. Then you have all this back and forth. It's just really cool barrage of attacks. You're hearing all these names that you recognize from the games, so you get that. You get that connection, which I really...
Yeah, like Pidgeotto's using like Gust and Whirlwind, trying to like get rid of the powder, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, and it's like, but you recognize the move names. I don't know. It's just maybe I just think that's cool because it's just familiar. In the middle of this battle, just like the whole wall like blast open or something ridiculous.
Yes, yeah.
The whole wall just smashes down, and Team Rocket jumps out. and they're in full kabuki outfits, which I think this is the second time this season that they've done this, but they come out in full white makeup, giant kabuki, like swords, hats, like the whole nine, like dressed to the gills in the kabuki outfits, and they do their whole motto, but it's a very, very serious approach to the way they do their model, which is a little bit different, but they bust into the scene, and Ash and Koga are kind of forced to put things on hold for a second and deal with Team Rocket.
They send out Arbok and Weezing, and Ash and Koga decide to team up to, battle Team Rocket. And then Jesse's throws string shot. I mean, it reminds me of Spider-Man. He's literally just throwing spider web at Pikachu.
Is it Jesse or James? Jesse.
Oh, Jesse, yeah. And she just throws it, and it's covers Pikachu, and he can't move.
Misty calls out for Starmie, right? And she's got the ball in her hand, but from her backpack that's up against the wall, Psyduck launches himself out of the bag, and it's just Psy, and she's like, Psyduck, what are you doing? This is the best. Quality stuff is about to go down. It's so good. Koga is kind of panicking at this point because this is his turf. So he pulls on this rope, and the ceiling tiles open up, and a whole bunch of Voltorb, checkerboard style, every other tile, there's a Voltorb sitting up there waiting to drop down. And I think James even's like, what is it? Ah! And it's just a hilarious exchange because everyone's freaking out. They don't know what's going on. Because just like Ash is being introduced to these Pokemon for the first time and he has to pull out the Pokedex, it seems like whenever a new Pokemon is introduced, Team Rocket doesn't even necessarily know. So it's cool because they have to figure it out for themselves too, just like Ash does, but they don't have the help of the Pokedex, so they don't realize that this Voltorb is about to self-destruct, which it ultimately does. And Psyduck starts wigging out, and James goes, let's steal this one too. And Meowth's like, he's not worth our time, and kicks poor Psyduck across the room.
And Misty's like, oh man, even Team Rocket doesn't want it.
Yeah, because he got rejected by Team Rocket. This sets Psyduck off. And it's hilarious. And this reminded me of when in Sun and Moon, in the game Sun and Moon, when the Snorium Z crystal came out for the pulverizing pancake move for Snorlax. The animation on it reminds me exactly of this, where they show these innocent, doughy Snorlax eyes, and then all of a sudden he gets triggered, and the eyes become super intense. And that's exactly what happens to Psyduck here. He's just kind of realizing he's not going to take this anymore. And they show his cute little eyes, and he just gets real focused, and he just starts going ballistic. And Ash even has to pull out the Pokedex to figure out what the heck is going on. What are the moves that Psyduck knows? What's the first thing that she says? Doesn't she say use Scratch or something like that?
Oh, tail whip.
And he's just wiggling his little butt. And then tries to scratch Arbok, but Arbok literally puts Psyduck's head in its mouth. It just flings it across the room. Psyduck just snaps, and then he uses Disable, right? Which kind of
stops Team Rocket.
Stops them in their tracks. And then I don't know how this works with Confusion, but then uses Confusion attack on it and just starts slamming them into the walls and the ceiling, and ultimately through the roof of the entire building and blast them off. But Psyduck stepped up.
Psyduck is the man. Well, he's the duck.
But the goop that was on Pikachu and, all that stuff and Charmander all wears off. Team Rocket is out of it, and Koga and Aya are all over Psyduck. Oh, this was amazing. And they're kind of giving props to Misty, and they say
yeah, we'll trade our Venonat for your Psyduck.
Because a performance like that is worthy of the Soul Badge, and Ash is like, whoa, wait a second, I'm here for the Soul Badge. What are you talking about?
Come on.
And they're like, oh yeah, we're here for the battle. Let's get back into the battle. Now, meanwhile, a whole wall has been blasted out of this gorgeous mansion, and the whole huge hole in the ceiling. It's all good. They're going outside to fight.
But first, let me play a Pokemon battle.
Exactly. Let me take a selfie. So they go outside, and they're ready to do this battle. And I love this part because, oh yeah, we do get introduced to another Pokemon. Koga pulls out Golbat, which is the first time, and I don't even we have seen Zubats, right?
Yep.
Yes, but back with, was it Seymour? He was getting harassed by Zubats, I think. That was like 10 episodes ago, 20 episodes ago.
Mount Moon, yeah.
Yep. But he brings out a Golbat, Ash brings out Charmander, and again, going back to this common theme of how the moves work, Charmander uses Ember, which is awesome, and he's like wigging out, spraying fire everywhere, and I think he actually torches Brock by accident.
Yep.
The Golbat is kind of like trying to like use its wings to like fend off the flames, and Ash commands a
Fire Spin.
Fire Spin, that's right. And dude, the Charmander goes off, and this Fire Spin completely engulfs the Golbat, and it's a complete tornado. It reminded me of like Gyarados Dragon Rage, like it's just surrounding the Golbat completely, and when the fire dissipates, the Golbat's completely knocked out, hits the ground with a thud, and it's like, dude, Ash actually won 2 battles in 1 episode. This is great. This is weird. He's actually going to legitimately win.
Yeah, see, at first I thought they were just going to give it to him, beforehand.
For saving the day.
Yeah. And then this one, they came back, they were like, alright, let's finish this. And then Ash won. He wins legitimately.
Dude.
Woo!
And they
go Ash.
It's cool because they give him the soul badge, and he does like the, I've got the soul badge. There's like a little jump, and it's all happy and kumbaya and all that stuff, and cue the narrator, and he's like, all right, where are they off to next? We don't know. And it's like, oh my gosh, this whole episode took place for the most part in one immediate area. They're in the woods, they get lost, they find the mansion, they go into the mansion, and that the whole episode takes place right there. And ultimately, it being the Fuschia City Gym. But the lesson here is, yes, don't trespass, but the lesson is really Misty underestimating PSYDUCK, and her realizing that she's had an amazing Pokemon in her care this whole time. She hasn't realized it, and now she wouldn't give up PSYDUCK for anything. She's like, this is her champion now, which I think is really cool, and it's a good moral. They always put that positive PSA type spin on it, and I just thought it was cool that PSYDUCK was able to shine, even though that this was really about Ash getting back on track with the Pokemon League. I think he has 6 badges now, right? 6? I think he has,
so, right?
Yep, I think he has 6. So he's almost there. So he's got these badges. It is all about Ash and his progress, but I like how they were able to devote the real lesson of the episode to Misty and PSYDUCK, because PSYDUCK deserves it. He's a doofus, but he kicks butt. But I really dug this episode. I thought it was exciting. I thought it was, this very stylized. I loved the look of Koga and Aya. I loved the look of the environment. I thought it was cool that we were introduced to new Pokemon.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the Voltorbs.
Yeah.
Self-destruct for the win. And the loss.
No, James was after they had all fallen from the ceiling, didn't he like collect them all and had them in like a big bag at some point?
Yeah, had them in a big net, and it's like, come on, any one of those could have just used Thunder Shock,
Or just set off a giant chain reaction.
Yeah, right.
Well, would they do? I guess if they were wild, they could do it on their own. Like they could give themselves a direction.
But they faint afterwards, so they're just a dead Voltorb in the woods after it uses self-destruct. I can't even imagine.
Someone feed me a berry.
Please.
But I don't know, man. I totally dug this episode for so many different reasons. I'm glad they're back on track. I'm glad they're back to the gyms. The focus on the Pokemon League. I don't know, man. Awesome episode. Ninja Poké-Showdown. 2 thumbs up. Good stuff.
If I had a third thumb, I'd put that one up too.
Yes. I have a booster.
I also have a booster, but it's quite a distance away from me right now. So I'm going to go grab it.
With the power of editing, it's in your hand right now.
All right. Is it now?
It's now. Is it in your hand?
Yes.
That was only like 1 second. That's how fast you got it.
What? That's insane.
All right. I have a Burning Shadows.
I have a Guardians Rising.
You want to go first? You go first.
I'll go first. I've been dying to open this one.
Is Guzma in Burning Shadows or Guardians Rising?
Yes. Burning Shadows. That was the most inconvenient pack to open. Alright. So, I've got a Bellsprout, a Pancham, a Snorunt, a Chansey, a Machop, a Marini, an Alamomola. I don't even. I have a Trainer Enhanced Hammer. My reverse holo is a Sharpedo. And my rare is a regular rare Wailord.
Wailord is awesome. My son loves Wailord.
200 hit points.
That's why he loves him.
He's a beast.
He's a whale. Whale.
All right, what'd you get? What'd you get?
All right, Burning Shadows. Heatmore. Trainer Weakness Policy. Trainer Po-Town. Venipede. Sandy Gas. I love that. Morlull. Crabrawler. Stuffle. My reverse is a Trainer Plumeria. She's awesome. And my rare is a regular Mudsdale.
Ugh, that's like the worst.
The ups and downs of the TCG.
I know. Getting a regular rare is like,
Womp womp.
But at least my reverse holo, so I got 2 rares, I guess, right?
Well, this reverse, the Trainer Plumeria, she's awesome.
Yeah, no, I got that used against me a couple weeks ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's just one of those things where you don't expect it.
Awesome. So that was an episode, man. That was a show. So this one's going to come in a little shorter than usual. I think we're going to try to keep the format around that 50-minute to an hour mark. That'll probably be the new standard. We'll keep it under an hour. But we're going to get better and better. So thank you guys for sticking around. Yeah.
Easy listening.
Thank you guys for sticking around and cover a couple housekeeping things. You can find everything about the show at gottawatchemall.com. I'm going to start updating that every Friday. So every Friday, that's going to be updated with our latest unboxing, our latest Pokemon Go stream, our latest podcast. All that stuff will get updated on Fridays. Stay tuned to our social media accounts for all different things that we're doing. I'm going to try to do unboxings every Wednesday, Insta Boosters on Monday, on Instagram and Friday, and Twitch streams either Pokemon Go or TCGO on Friday as well. So we got a lot of stuff going on. Hope you guys check it all out. But everything will kind of be linked away from gottawatchemall.com. So check out that site. Couple special thanks. I want to thank Seth Hay for creating our original logo. Grimecraft for providing the intro music to our podcast. Chipicrit for providing the outro music to the podcast. I also use Grimecraft music in my unboxing video on YouTube, and that was really cool how that worked out. And you can find me personally at ProudGamerTweet on Twitter. Adam, where can they find you?
You can find me personally on Twitter at PhoenixBack4Fire.
And you can email the show at gottawatchemallpodcast@gmail.com. We hope to hear from you guys. We're going to start incorporating viewer and listener questions into the podcast. So if you got a question, comment, concern, complaint, anything, email us. We'll shout it out on the show. And that's it. Gotta watch them all. Episode 31. Done.
In the books.
In the books. So thanks so much, everyone. See you next week. Peace.